certinho, bora.
Help you folks? Name's Randolph. I'm the manager.
We're looking for Rose.
Aqui a gente tinha parado quando a gente veio buscar o material com a Rose, que é o manuscrito que ela ligou pra gente, dizia que ela tinha.
This is a waitress down at the diner?
E a gente veio pra cá.
Sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, there was an island there owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Eita. Bom, não vi nenhuma térmica aí.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook story. The Scratching Hag comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady you met.
Ah, foi a mulher que deu a chave pra nós.
She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless.
Yeah, anyway, she knew both Jagger and Zane before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
E aí, acabou a conversa?
Well, mister, this here's Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're just here to talk to her, pal.
Essas plantinhas não estão bem, hein?
Welcome to... Oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh. Oh yes. Yes. Please, come in.
Tipo, a mulher mudou muito. E o pessoal...
Hey, this is really good.
Rose.
Yes.
My manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry. She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Oh, what's... Oh...
Barry! What? What?
A Mimir. Cai no sofá, pelo amor de Deus. Cai de cara no chão.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd come visit you and your lovely wife. You must finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
Back to work, boy.
felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
Ah,
I can't
credo.
tell reality from dream anymore. But
Luz
it seems
nos
I have an
olhos.
imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jacker. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it. Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get
A
you
menina
today?
enlouqueceu.
Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter there.
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste. Mr. Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
Coitada Rose, né?
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep at all. It's all tangled bed sheets and dark thoughts, punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller, you're on KBF FM.
Hey, Pat, it's Walt Snyder.
What's on your mind, Walt?
Well, I am the way you are, but, well, I can't sleep either, you know? I just been staring out the window here, trying to make sense of it all, but, I ain't been drinking either, you know? I just...
Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
I had a, argument with Danny, and, then I got in trouble with the law, and, I'm just, well...
I heard something like that, Walt.
Yeah, well, Danny's my best friend, and, they let me out on bail today, and now I'm just alone here at the window, waiting. Man, and there's something in the air tonight, man.
I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt?
I don't know. Something's gonna happen. I think I better go.
Well, Walt, maybe...
No, thanks, Pat.
Well, good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh?
How can I be sure?
Gadget de chopper, quer dizer, gadget. Vai pro carro.
Oh, you're gonna get it now. God knows what you've done to that poor girl.
This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Slane!
What are you? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kidnapper.
Give it up, Mr. Wake. Come on. Take it easy on him.
Eita, nós. Já podia ter da polícia no jogo. Vai, fumante.
There he is! There he goes! Okay, men, keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it through here.
Oh, damn.
É longe que tem que ir, né?
God, come on, guys. We need to head him off.
Whoops.
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
É, tá meio ruim agora, me escuridão, né? Isso foi tiro?
Search the area. Stay sharp. This way. Over here.
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
É, dá pra dormir aqui, tem luzinha, tudo.
I could see the lights of the radio station in the distance.
Não vai falar nada sobre o helicóptero que caiu, beleza. Acho que é só por enquanto.
This is James. Mulligan, Thornton, come in. Over.
Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. Why, they were... Hey, what are you doing? Come on.
Sit down and give me that. James, Mulligan here. Over. Go ahead, Mulligan. Over. We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk or hopped up on something. Speaking of which, that Fed had a pretty distinctive whiff of Otis Scotch about him, if you know what I mean. Over. I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over. Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just being plain weird here. You better get Doc in and take a look at both. Over. Gotcha. You better get them here quickly. The Fed's gonna want to interview Wheeler. Over. Oh, yeah, I'll bet he does. Looks like they have a lot in common. Mulligan out.
Tá, necessariamente o que eu vim fazer aqui em cima? Literalmente eu vim só me abrigar, é isso?
I imagined that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine. Unnatural shadows clung to the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a light. Generator conked out. I'd have to see if I could fix it and try again.
Tem tempo. Eita. Ih, checkpoint, não tem nenhuma luzinha. Vai ter treta. Só a lanterninha?
They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Team 1, come in. Over. Team 1, this is Sheriff Breaker. Report. Over. Team 2, come in. I need a report. Over.
Eu tenho a flashbang e não tenho medo de usá-la. Mentira, eu tenho sim. Caralho, que coisa pelona! Ah, acho que eu morri. Joguei duas flashbang. Cara, demora muito pra ele soltar a flash.
And here's another call. You're on
Então, pra lá.
KBFF with Pat Maine.
It's Milt Peabody, Pat.
What's on your mind, Milt?
Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Well, that's just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of police cars there, lots of sirens, a helicopter buzzing around, and I think I heard some gunshots.
Gunshots?
Yes, sir, like from a pistol. So can you find out what's going on? Because it's just next door and they're popping off guns there.
They're still shooting?
No, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party.
I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt.
Okay.
You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, thanks.
Será que tem algo pra cá? Ou tomar só uma surra de graça? Só uma surra de graça. Vazante. Com a minha luzinha ali. Tchau, tchau. Rolling the flashback. Carros arrebentados assim na beira da estrada me lembra um pouco de Biscuri.
Get to the coal mine.
Tem uma térmica ali.
Well,
I had no idea how to get to the coal mine. Maine would know. And I had a feeling I wouldn't get a chance to ask anyone else anytime soon.
Thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint, Lorna. Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in. Folks, I'm going to see if I can talk him into an interview.
Come on in, Mr. Wake. Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt it.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him.
Dude, priest!
What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
Tá, eu ainda só não entendi porque que o FBI tá atrás dele, se é alguma coisa do livro em si, ou se é alguma coisa da realidade.
I had fallen off so many cliffs it was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine.
Eu vou ter que gastar a flashbang, né? No caso, o cara acho que era um flare, acho que eu morri, viu? Qual o botão do flare? Tá, pera aí, nós temos munições de 12 na cadeia 12. As if they'd been left for someone like me to use. Ó, tem que matar eles igual. In light you can hurt them. Ela apaga a luz! Ah, 12. Ah, já? Ui! É, eu acho que foi uma má ideia eu tentar trocar com eles. Eu acho que era só eu ter largado correndo mesmo. Meter uma flashbang e ir embora. Eu preciso desse café, você não tá entendendo. Ai! Já é um boss. Por isso que eu me ferrei. Som e fúria. Por que eu acho que eu vou ser atropelado por um trem? Só de leves.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan, I'm so afraid. It keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. It's something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here. The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me. The pipe wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
Tá, se eu lembro, tinha uma casinha pra essa direção, né? É, tem suplemento. Ficar monstro. Suplemento. Tem supply esperando lá, gente. Cara. Ah, filho da puta! Caramba, um combo combo. Só que dá pra matar eles. Não tem. Cara. Tipo, eu vou ter que escutar tudo de volta. Dá pra esquipar? Não.
Alice? Alice?
Alan, I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. It's something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
Não sei se vale o esforço em buscar isso aqui, cara. Talvez se eu gastar o flare e sair correndo, vale a pena.
I could see a railway bridge up ahead and a warehouse of some sort of maintenance. I just wanted to find a car from there.
Bom, eu não sei se eles cancelariam a minha subida. Então somente bala neles, vai ter mais luta por isso. Beleza, tipo, eu entendi, cara, beleza, mas o que eu tenho que fazer ali? Gastar um flare? Gastar o quê? Entendi que o jogo vai me meter a porrada. Eu tenho que sobreviver, eu tenho que abrir o caminho, o que eu tenho que fazer? Eu acho que o iluminar não funciona muito bem. fazer aqui, cara? Que bizarro, cara. Eu tenho que sobreviver, eu tenho que vazar. Eu não entendi. Não era isso que eu queria fazer com vocês. Cara, que bagulho chato, cara. Eu não sei o que eu tenho que fazer, cara. Eu vou tentar largar correndo só. Não entendi essa luta. Só vazar, sobreviver. Essa porcaria, bora. Acabou? Ah! Credo, que cagaço. Alguém comprou uma cueca nova. Ah, esse bagulho volta, gente. Ah, derrubar da escada, né? Ups, eu tô errado. Ninguém viu.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but.
Cara,
the darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Lanterna pesada. Tem algo pra pegar. Cara, é boss, né? Não é possível. Tá carregado. Sacanagem, né? Quebrou que vidro. Tá, eu tenho aqui uma flare, duas flashbangs. que acontece quando você não atira nos caras.
That had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
A questão é, será que eu consigo correr deles? Acho que o flare é até pra isso. Eu acho que dá pra bloquear. Fui gankado. Ah, boa. É só tu usar a flashbang, né? Dá uma porcaria. Tá aberto isso aí. Que isso, cara? Nem usei a pistola.
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos of madness and horror. All too often, the stars are right. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, A Family Occasion. Journalist Alvin Durless' trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Durlith, we don't want to feel like we're on exhibition. But you have demonstrated the seriousness of your intent.
Oh, I am serious. Really, just do your thing. I'll stay out of your way and observe.
Actually, I thought you could assist us. I'm afraid we are a man short. It would provide you with an intimate perspective.
Could I really?
Of course, Mr. Durlith.
Well, I guess that's the least I... What would I have to do?
Oh, here. Let me show you with a kiss.
Boneco pula no banco de trás com o drone.
Oh, Mr. Durlith, you have well pleased Nixie Perka, the dweller in flesh. His body shall host his 1,000 young, and all shall be glorious. Shh, darling, be calm.
lesson. If you go looking for mythology, it may come looking for you. And such quests always bear fruit. In Night Springs.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
What the? Não! Animal! Eu vou tomar. Obrigado, jogo. Te amo. Cara, eu perdi a luta literalmente com o erro, não assistindo nada, velho. Cara, eu tô trocando os botões, cara. Eu não consigo pensar que, tipo, eu apertar L1 é a flashback. Da conquista heavy metal. Cara, eu só quero abrir o portão. Nossa, quanto flare o jogo deu, mano. Acho que isso aqui deixava o trator... trator, né? Acho que é. Deixava o boss a longa distância. O cara tá 42. Beleza. Agora vai ter acho que uma rodada de porradaria, não? Abriu direto. Beleza. Speedrun dessa área deve ser interessante. Chegar, apertar o botão, sair correndo que nem um louco. Salve, Mix. Ganhar uma conquista pra pegar a cafeteira. Coisa térmica, né? Cafeteira é o Sebastian. Posso usar o carro. Vou o checkpoint aqui antes. Não dá? Beleza. Dá pra entrar aqui? Não.
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine. coal mine wasn't far now.
Não tá longe não, só muitos quilômetros.
Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
Ah, o jogo literalmente roubou todas as minhas armas. Beleza, jogo. Sei que estamos de dia, mano, né? Eu não poderia ter pego o carro, né? Eu tenho que correr até lá embaixo. Beleza. Beleza, caminhonetinha ruim de dirigir, mas é muito leve. Peraí, cadê um manuscrito ou eu tô vendo coisa? Não, só vi coisa mesmo, tô viajando. A sensibilidade fica muito... A sensibilidade da câmera fica muito forte, cara. Tipo, não dá pra ver a câmera inteira. Seguindo a estrada, né? Tem outro carro? Me dá pra pegar? What the heck?
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big-shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, a little music.
Man, todo mundo se ferrou com a Alan Wake. Ah, tá aqui o caminho que tá quebrado. Aqui não era onde a gente tava. É, acho que era. Ou igual.
Welcome back to KBF FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Well, see, to me, that's strange, because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever, and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or, heck, childish even? There's plenty of fish in the sea.
And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything, but what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh?
Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to what's essentially a chance encounter. How is that harsh?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here.
Okay.
Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together with what I feel, what I felt for someone, because she was the one. She was. And I let her drift away from me. Maybe I didn't put in the work, I don't know, but, well, since then, and it was a long time ago, but since then, there hasn't been anyone, not like her. And I'm not saying I dwell on her or haven't moved on. I like my life. I'm not living in the past, but I do miss the way she completed me.
You can't argue with the heart, Pat.
I'm sorry, folks. I had kind of a scary experience last night, and let's just say it's shaken a few things loose.
Vou sair pelo lado de trás, não? Não sei. Achei que tinha um lado do outro lado aqui. Tem muito lugar pra ficar parando de ir pra lá, meu Deus. Pouco só tomou um socão na cara, welcome to the family, son.
For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much.
Tá, literalmente ir pra cá pegar o manuscrito e se embora. Drift. Chegamos então, acho que é isso.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
A atividade do vulcão ficou muito difícil. Tem algo aqui.
With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good.
Interessante. A corrupção do vulcão ferrou a maioria dos túneis, morreu 32 carinha. E eles pararam daí com a produção. O que houve?
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Where the hell are you?
Change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around by you.
You want to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello! Ah! I'm gonna kill him!
I had to get to Mirror Peak.
Tá. Como é que eu saio daqui? A porta tá trancada. Isso foi lá da mãe.
It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
Como é que eu vazo daqui, cara? Não entendi qual que é a moral ali. Leave the building. Ah, tá bom. Deixa eu adivinhar, tem que ser pela mina, né? O que me falta. Tá recarregada a pistola, então... É um revólver, né? Não é a pistola. Não é. É meio que esperável.
When Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened fast. She was young, vibrant and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse.
Mano, munição infinita. É a treta aqui. Oh, droga. Tu tá bem, irmão? Ah, demorei um pouco demais pra soltar o flor. Flashbang, mano. Ah, treta tá feita. O jogo do flashbang. Animal assim. Aquele tornado tá vindo, hein? Cara, não vai valer a pena. Vai atirar, né? É muito bicho. Droga, na orelha. A luz é aqui na frente, pá. Qual foi? Nossa, flare gun, mano. Ah, eu entendi o porquê. Eu vou apagar as luzes. Brilho total. Desculpa, mas eu não entendi como você usar a flare gun. Teoricamente a flare gun você atira ela pra cima, você não atira ela nos inimigos. Mas tá assim. Beleza. Acho que a flare gun era pra isso aqui, ó. Cara, eu não vi o moleque ali do lado. Eles sobem aqui. É sério, cara. Engraçado que eu não subi as escadas correndo, o jogo me tranca assim. Ah, era meio óbvio. É o inimigo da lanterna, irmão? O que aconteceu? O que eu explodi aqui atrás? Eu gastei algum item? Não. Que bizarro, mano. Isso aqui explode? Não acredito em ninguém na escuridão. Até porque eu não tenho onde eu ir, né? Só a porta.
Some of the Taken retained echoes of their former selves, but these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the Dark Presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him.
Tornadinho derrubando tudo, né?
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power company equipment.
Dá pra eu subir isso aqui? Dá. Nunca. Ah, mas não tá funcionando. Eu vou aproveitar. Eu vou parando nesse checkpoint. Só dar uma olhada se tem algo pra cá. Não. vou parando por aqui. Valeu quem apareceu aí, bom descanso pra vocês. Fui-me.